Capital One, a bank that traditionally is known for giving out increased welcome offers, just did exactly that. Their Capital One Venture Rewards travel-focused credit card just received an increased welcome offer that has been turning a lot of heads in the credit card space. And so today I wanted to go over the welcome offer, who this card is most likely best fit for, and some fun and valuable ways that you can redeem your Capital One miles if you do choose to open this credit card. Now let's go ahead and just jump into things. This is the current elevated welcome offer on the Capital One Venture Rewards credit card. You earn 75,000 bonus miles plus a $250 credit that is to be used in the Capital One travel portal during the first year of card ownership. You will achieve this welcome offer once you've spent $4,000 in 3 months, which is the typical amount of money you'd have to spend for the normal welcome offer, which is 75,000 bonus miles after $4,000 in spend in the first 3 months. So this elevated welcome offer is giving you an additional $250 in value through the Capital One travel portal, and you can use the Capital One travel portal for things like booking flights or booking hotels. Those are things this credit can be applied to. And so considering this is a $95 a year annual fee, this elevated welcome offer is pretty enticing because that alone covers over 2.5 years worth of the annual fee just in this elevated welcome offer. So for someone who doesn't traditionally sign up for a lot of credit cards, because you want to make sure you can get more value from the card than it costs to have the card open, well, this right here gives you an extra 2.5. Well, this elevated welcome offer definitely looks pretty enticing. And quickly just going over the general card basics, it's a very easy and simple card to understand, which might factor into the type of person who is best suited to open this card. But like I said, this is a $95 a year annual fee credit card, and the point earning structure is incredibly simple. You simply earn 5 points per dollar spent on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal. So this doesn't apply to flights. If you book flights through the Capital One travel portal with this particular card, you won't actually be getting that 5x points back. And as for all other spend, it is really easy to understand. You just get 2x points on everything. So if you spend $100 on gas, you get 200 points. If you spend $500 on groceries, you get 1,000 points, or Capital One calls them miles, to later be redeemed through their various redemption methods. As far as statement credits and other benefits you'll receive with this card, it's kind of a short list in terms of those benefits. You do get a $100 TSA pre-check or global entry credit that you can use every 4 years on this card. So if you don't have either TSA pre-check or global entry, I'm someone who's had both, and I highly recommend you use this credit. It's a free application. It expedites all of your travel for the future. And again, you can use this credit once every 4 years to make sure you're not paying any application fees. You also get 2 complimentary visits to either the Capital One or Plaza Premium lounges. So the Capital One Venture X does have unlimited access to the Capital One lounges, and it has access to a Priority Pass membership, which gives you access to over, I believe it's 1,400 lounges worldwide. And so this is only access to Plaza Premium lounges, which there's only around 100 or so worldwide. And considering Capital One charges $65 for a day pass to get access to their Capital One lounges, if you're able to use both of these complimentary visits with this card, well then right there, you'd be coming out well ahead of the annual fee. But that is where the annual benefits in with this card. And so in my opinion, most of the value is going to be getting derived from this elevated welcome offer. Now, I believe there are 2 particular types of people that this card is best suited for. The first type of person is someone who prefers low to mid annual fee credit cards, such as no annual fee credit cards or $95 or $99 a year annual fee credit cards. You just don't want to have that Amex Platinum coupon book where it's $700 every year to keep open, and you've got to work your way through the coupons to recoup your value for the card. Same thing for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It's a pretty expensive card to keep open, and there are some ways to recoup that annual fee, but this card, it's a low annual fee, and the easiest way to recoup that is if you're able to spend 5,000 more or a year on the card. This is because that will net you 10,000 miles through Capital One, which you can use to redeem for $100 in travel through the Capital One travel portal, or you can transfer out those partners and get much more value on your points. And lastly, it's for someone who prefers a simple card setup, someone who wants to maybe 3 cards in their setup, because the 2x back on everything makes this a fantastic catch-all card. If you're looking for a cashback setup, this is probably not best suited for you, as when you cash out your points for cashback through Capital One, you're only getting 0.8 cents per point. So this would effectively make this a 1 point, and this would effectively nerf the earning of cashback to 1.6% on everything. And again, there are some great 2% cashback cards out there. There's obviously more ways to recoup the annual fee. Again, like using some of the complimentary visits or using the TSA pre-check and global entry credit. But assuming you do neither of those, if you fit this profile, I think this card might be a good fit for you. And well, the second type of person who might be interested in opening up this card is someone exactly like myself, someone who prioritizes working towards sign-up bonuses and earning those hefty point allotments when signing up for a card, as 75,000 Capital One miles in my eyes is worth around $1,200 to $1,500 in travel for domestic travel and can be worth much more when redeemed for international travel, which I'll be showing you all in just a few seconds. Some of my favorite ways to redeem Capital One points in miles. So if you're like myself and you're always hunting for a sign-up bonus, then this is a really tempting offer, especially considering that Capital One isn't typically known for handing out elevated welcome offers. So if you've been waiting around and you're looking for your next personal card to add a good chunk of points to your personal stash, then I think this would be a great opportunity for you. Unfortunately for me, I will not be opening this credit card, as one, I already have the VentureX credit card, which is the more premium version of the exact same credit card. And I'm also always keeping in mind my Chase 524 status, which basically states that if I ever open 5 personal cards or more within a rolling 24-month period, then I'm not eligible for any of Chase's card offerings. And so as someone who's always keeping in mind my Chase 524 status, this card doesn't fit into my setup at the moment. And I did also want to throw out one caveat that if you're someone who travels pretty frequently and you're someone who consistently redeems your points earned for travel by transferring them out to travel partners, then I think the Capital One VentureX is just going to be the better card in this situation, even with the elevated welcome offer. The Capital One VentureX gives you unlimited access plus 2 free guests to all of their Capital One lounges and Priority Pass lounges around the world. Couple that with, you get a $300 a year travel credit to be used through the Chase travel portal as long as you have your card open. And for every year that you renew your credit card, you will be getting a 10,000 point anniversary bonus. So for me, those 10,000 points are worth right around $200, and the travel credit is obviously worth $300. So the annual fee for this card is $395, but I'm getting $500 in value. So for me, I'm basically getting paid around $100 a year to hold this card as long as I'm able to appropriately use my points when redeeming for travel, and I'm able to use the travel credit through the Capital One travel portal. And so it's really just a thought to throw out there that if you're someone who travels 3 or 4 times a year, then you might be able to get more value from the VentureX, which is a more premium card, but it does offset basically the entirety of the annual fee with the welcome offer and then with the anniversary bonus miles from the second year onwards, which again is why I think if you're someone who prefers low to mid annual fee cards and a simple card setup, then that is where the Venture One is really going to slot into your setup. And so let's say for a second you do open the Capital One Venture Rewards credit card and you've got 83,000 points sitting in your account after reaching the minimum spend requirement, because you first get these 75,000 bonus miles for reaching the minimum spend, and then because you spent $4,000 on the card to get there, you're going to be getting at minimum 8,000 extra bonus miles. And so what can you do with 83,000 Capital One miles? One of my favorite uses of my Capital One miles over the last year has been transferring them out to Flying Blue to redeem for either international or domestic travel. This is just a brief example of some of the flights from North America to Europe that are departing within the next 60 days that you can redeem for just 15,000 miles. This flight in particular from Atlanta to Paris is only 15,000 points plus $86 in taxes and fees. And I guarantee you this flight is going for well over a few $100s. And it's not just international flights you have to use your points for. This is another great example of Flying Blue availability domestically from Atlanta to places like Washington, Dulles, Houston, or LAX, costing between 7,500 points and 16,000 points one way. And the taxes and fees are phenomenal at only $20 for this trip. And I know in particular, this flight usually runs around $300 for a main cabin ticket. And so spending 16,000 points for the exact same flight is an incredible deal for a domestic economy redemption. But if you're someone who wants to fly a little more in style, well, then Flying Blue is also going to be your program. As from JFK to Madrid, you can fly for only 43,000 miles. It's not directly with Air France. It is with Air Europa, which is a slightly inferior product to Air France business class. And if you want to experience that, well, from Washington to Paris, you can experience just that 50,000 miles, $220 in taxes and fees for a business class ticket that'll probably run you upwards of $2,000. And if you're wondering how I'm finding all this availability, I'll leave a tutorial link down below in the description where I covered just that, how to find easy flight award availability for Flying Blue to fly both domestically and internationally. Another great example of redeeming your Capital One miles for travel is going to be another premium option, and that is going to be business class from the East Coast of the United States to a wide variety of destinations within Europe. We can go and check this, just say Newark to Brussels example, and you can see this is going to be a live flat business class with United, which most likely means this is Polaris. And we can go ahead and check this by clicking the book via Air Canada option. And once we're on Air Canada's page, we can wait for it to load, sort by business class, and we can see that yes, this is a business class seat for 60,000 miles and 78 Canadian dollars in taxes and fees, flying from New York to Brussels. And as you can see, these are just flights again within the next 60 days. There are so many of these flights available. If you want to fly to Europe in business class. You've got so many different options at your disposal, and Air Canada is a phenomenal way to transfer your points out from Capital One to then redeem them for excellent value with a flight like this. And although I wouldn't traditionally use my Capital One miles for booking hotels, Capital One does have a Wyndham as a transfer partner, meaning you can transfer points out at a 1-to-1 ratio. And NerdWallet has compiled a great list of a few sweet spot redemptions where the Majestic Hotel South Beach in Miami can be booked for 15,000 points per night and can run upwards of $500 per night for a singular room. You could also book this Days Inn by Wyndham in Maui for 30,000 points per night. And again, this hotel can cost upwards of $400 per night. And Wyndham, being a worldwide chain, does have a lot of hotel properties internationally that you can also use your Capital One miles to redeem for. Like any redemption method, it is important that you first understand the value of your points before transferring them out to travel partners, as doing so without ensuring you can first book the travel with the points you're transferring, and secondly ensuring you're getting good value for your points, can be a costly mistake to make. But I hope those examples shed some light into some particularly good redemption methods that personally I've used before over the last year of having my Capital One Venture X, and plan on continuing to use in the future, as I think Capital One is really trying to step up their game as a more travel focused and travel oriented credit card issuer. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section if you're going to be considering opening this card, if you already have this card, or if you're planning to save out for the Venture X Rewards credit card. That is Capital One's shining star. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you, and I also want to let you know that I do offer free credit card consultation services to ensure that you're able to get maximum value from your credit card setup, and to make sure that whatever your travel aspirations are, that using credit card points and miles can help you get there. And so I'm going to leave a link to the consultations down below in the description, and if you loved this one, then I know you're going to love this video right here, and so you might as well check that one out too.